Hello, good morning. So today I had a lot of comments yesterday on how I wore my hair in my video on Facebook and some other stuff. So I was going to show people how I did it. Now I worked out this morning. I washed my hair yesterday. And so I was going to absolutely show you from scratch. I need a little bit of dry shampoo because of my workout, but it wasn't enough to have to like totally wash my hair. I try to wash my hair again every, I don't know, probably 2 days, sometimes 3, but it just depends on workouts. So I will use dry shampoo at the base or at the roots, and I let it sit. You want to give your dry shampoo enough time to work and enough time to absorb the oils before you work it through. So there's a little bit of a white sheen with it. I just take my hands, run it through. The heat of your hand kind of helps dissolve the powder. I even use dry shampoo if I'm not necessarily oily, but second day hair, it just gives it a little bit of a fluff. Plus the dry shampoo that I use is cleansing, so it makes my scalp feel clean after I like have sweated. I was sweating a little bit, I guess. And I would like never want to smell like dirty hair. So this is once I get dry shampoo in. So I wore it a little bit more of like just a kind of a laid back wave versus doing a like a really curly do. But I do it the same way. If you watch any of my hair videos, I do it the same way. I divide everything in 3s. So I work with the bottom layer first, getting the first part out of the way. Now with this one, I'm using a 1-inch iron, and I start the same way as when I do it really curly. I grab a big section closest to my face, and now I start right at the roots, and I just leave it there. Now for this look, I like to leave a lot of the ends out because I want it to be just like a subtle wave, kind of messier, really, you know, no form to it. And so I just kind of leave it that way. And I'll work all the way around, same thing, right at the root. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the emphasis has to be of clamping right on the root. I would say the biggest mistake people make is they start down here because that feels natural, and then they roll it up, and that doesn't put the curl where it needs to be, which is right at the base. I also don't comb the curls out until I'm done. So same thing on the other side, right at the root. And I just want a little wave. I do grab pretty big sections. I don't grab the same amount every time. It just adds to the texture of it, you know, so it's not perfect. And I definitely don't take time to part it because I don't take that much time to do my hair, honestly. So now that I've got it just all kind of just has a bend in it, basically, I'll take the next part down, which is about, if I went right above my eyebrows, and I sectioned all of this off. Now here I will add some back combing. I would love to use a comb, but my daughter stole it. This is cute, right? And I don't know where she puts stuff. She always wants to borrow everything so that she can play with it, and then I don't know where. Someday I'm going to find a whole drawer full of combs somewhere. Anyways, holding it straight up. I like to, when I use a comb, you know, you really focus on just the last inch, or the first inch from your roots. So from here to here is all your back combing, locking it in tight. I like to use a touchable hold hairspray, just a little mist on there, just to give it that volume. I will go through and tease it all the way around. Same thing, making sure I over direct the hair and holding it straight up versus like, you know, just straight back, because I don't want my hair to go back. I want it to go up. A light mist, and that'll hold it. And I don't have a ton of hair right here. Oh, there it is. A brush doesn't work ideal, but you improvise. Okay, so once I've got that teased, I just grab sections of it. I do the same thing. Right at the base, clamp it down, a small twist, just so it has a bend. So still a lot of ends out. I like to pull these just a little bit so that they don't get so curly. Right at the base, twist, a lot of ends out. Same thing in the back. I mean, if you don't get to every hair, especially if it's the second day, like I've curled my hair now, I curled it yesterday like this, and just recurling some pieces, it really doesn't matter if some are straight. So don't get too bent out of shape about missing or, you know, checking in a mirror. Honestly, I mean, I don't even look at the back of my hair. I really don't. So I feel like it's the person behind me's problem. If they don't like the back of my hair, that's their problem. Alright, same thing. I'm going to divide this into two, right at the roots. See how much is out there? Quite a bit. So I have a good bend everywhere. Now for the last part, I do this. I just do the back and work my way forward. If you guys don't have any of these ponytail holders, you need some. They're called Invisibobbles, and you can get them on Amazon. You can get them, I think even like Sephora has them. You can get them everywhere, but they're awesome. People who get like headaches when your hair is up in a pony for too long, they kind of relieve the tension. They spread it out over the hair so it doesn't pull as tight. And they're great for making messy buns. And I mean, they kind of like, they get kind of loose like that one is, but if you leave it on the counter overnight, it'll it'll retake its shape. So teasing just like I was, wishing I had a comb. Thank you, Charlie. And spraying. I'm going to divide this piece into 3 sections. I'm going to do the exact same thing right at the roots. Probably like 2 twists. Just really wanted to heat that base up, and then leaving the ends out. If you had curly hair, you know, and your ends were fuzzy, you could go through and flat iron the ends first. Like I would just take the 2 inches down, flat iron those so that they're nice and straight, but my hair is naturally pretty straight, so I don't really need to. Now I take the next section forward. Again, I'm not too specific on partings. I mean, look at that. But that's just with your finger. It's not a big deal. Getting this out of the way. I have said before, but I definitely would not use a stronghold hairspray to do this before you're teasing, because if you put stronghold hairspray right on your roots and then you put a 300-degree iron on it, you're basically making super glue. And nobody wants super glue on their hair. So don't do that. Find something that's touchable, just maybe a little bit lighter hold. Same thing over here, just on the roots, leaving a lot of ends out. and still not combing any of these out. Now I'm gonna try to decide where I part my hair. I always part it off a little bit to my left side. So I'm just establishing that part line right there. And how much hair, there went all my caps, I want to go to each side and how much I want to go back. So this is where I part it. I do like a little bit of back combing, especially on this heavier side where most of my bangs go. I like to hold it up, do a little back combing. Now I'll take my fingers at the end of this so I don't have like a rat's nest, and if I had a comb, again, it would be a lot less, but a brush kind of does that. So just a little mist. Sorry. And these I start a little lower. So I start a little further from the root just because I don't want them to be so curly. I want them to be more straight. So you kind of have to visualize it. Even after I get done curling, I'll still look and be like, okay, you know, where do I need more volume? Okay, I need to redo a curl right there. Hair is such a visual thing. It's art. It really is art. So I have to look at it and make sure it's balanced even after it's done. So I can teach you all the technique in the world, but you have to look at the full picture when you're done and be like, what am I missing? Where's flat? Where is too much curl? You know, you really have to evaluate it that way. So again, leaving like almost 3 to 4 inches out. And I'll kind of pull on these because I do not want them to be very curly. Again, starting these bang pieces just a little bit lower, but still really, I mean, within 2 inches, 3 inches of the roots. Okay, so once I get it all curled, I am currently out of oil at my house, which is crazy, right? I own a salon and I don't bring product home for myself, but I do have a clay that I really like. I think clays are, depending on, but my clay that I use is a little bit more moisturizing than my taffy, and I feel like in the winter when we all have our heat on and our fireplaces going and things like that, you know, your hair just requires more moisture. So I use a clay. If I had oil, I would mix clay and oil together for extra shine. Plus it would give it more, it would make the clay a little more pliable and not so sticky. But I run my fingers through and just kind of break it up. And I kind of like scrunch. It's like a combination, scrunching and pulling. But mostly with the clay, what my focus is to eliminate like the frizzies. So any new growth. And then the ends, I want to kind of pull on those and kind of make them a little bit edgier and so that they stay crisp. So when you get done, it's more of a messy, shattered look on the ends. Then I will just use a hairspray or a texturizing spray. Today I'm just going to use my light hold hairspray. Kind of just scrunch until I get the amount of volume I want. Cool, and my hair is supposed to be longer on one side. Somebody asked me that. Do you know your hair is not the same length on both sides? Yep, I knew that. So when I get done, this is more of how I wore it yesterday. A little bit messier and not so curly, more of wavy. Super easy. Like I said, I worked out yesterday. I dry shampooed my hair. If I wasn't teaching you, this would have taken me less than 10 minutes. So it's super fast, easy way to work with second day hair. If this helped you, let me know. Just comment that it was helpful, share it, whatever it is that you do that can let me know that this was worth it for you. I hope everyone has a great Tuesday. I thought it was Monday all day, so it's a great surprise that it's Tuesday. Thanks, guys.